years back in the early 80s when we had HUD funds to build affordable housing, this city had not done anything about it, allowed those monies to go past us. One of the things I think we need to do is to find out what's available on the state and federal level in terms of building housing here for low and moderate income people. And that should come through HUD funds and other kinds of elements to build low and moderate income housing. I think we also need to promote this city where developers that may come into the city may want to come in and to build here. Right now the city is suffering from a bad image. That's one of the things I propose, having a deputy mayor to campaign for the city, to bring the image back to the city, to make Elizabeth a proud city. And to do that, you have to have someone out on the outskirts of town promoting the city. Right now, the city is suffering from crime, drugs, lack of housing, education not up to par. And those issues are reflective to our everyday and daily lives. So until we begin, the ones that are responsible, like the mayor, take a full approach to this, then we'll never have what we've been fighting for a long time, and that is affordable housing. When you have a place to live, when you have a place that is affordable to live, your whole livelihood changes. And if you don't believe me, I know for myself, when I lived in an area that was impoverished, I felt lack of esteem. But when we was able to move out of that condition and move into a better condition, my whole attitude changed. So your living condition is a priority to your whole livelihood. So our city must make housing a major issue in this town and make it affordable for everyone. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Ismail. Next is Bob Jaspan.
On a regular basis, we have to continue to look and to pursue, so we do have affordable housing available to fulfill the needs of the people in our community. One way that it could be done is to use Mayoral housing. What happens with the Mayoral is the city of Elizabeth is given X amount of dollars from the federal government and the state government to provide low-income housing for the needs of our community. City of Elizabeth used it all up. We don't have any left. But the law allows us to accept some of these fundings from other communities in which we would have thousands and thousands of dollars coming into the city of Elizabeth to use to create low and moderate housing units. I think it's very important that we work together with the people in the community to teach them the pride in their housing. We have the low-income housing projects, McGlory Manor, Pioneer Homes, Mavlac Manor. These places were beautiful places to live in. And they can be beautiful. They can be nice housing units to house the people of Elizabeth. And we can work together with the community to give them pride in their houses, to teach the children to respect the property. And it's only with the community, with the people working together, that we're going to accomplish this and work for the nice housing, for the comfortable housing that the people deserve. Thank you, Bob. Chris Bollwage.
Affordable housing in the city of Elizabeth can only start with a sound economic development policy. A sound economic development policy in the city will bring affordable housing. 10 years ago, I sat in the basement of Elizabethtown Gas Company, and I listened to a plan about Station Park, and I listened to a plan about 400 units of housing. 10 years later, the only thing that's happened is Elizabethtown Gas Company has left the city of Elizabeth, has moved outside the city of Elizabeth, and built a multi-million-dollar headquarters, and that land still remains vacant. 10 years ago, if we sat in that room and said, Elizabethtown Gas Company, we want you to be the anchor of the Midtown Development Project, we could have brought affordable housing with Elizabethtown Gas Company being the anchor, supporting us on a tax-rateable base, bringing in additional housing, and having a beautiful Midtown Development Project here today. What we hear from the chief executive, Tom, today, he tells us that you didn't vote for 1 square block. Then, therefore, the project was doomed. Affordable housing becomes doomed when you don't have the foresight and you don't have the energy in order to address the problems that face the city of Elizabeth. The city of Elizabeth can no longer view problems as burdens. We must start looking at the problems that we face as opportunities and use those opportunities to benefit the city of Elizabeth. And by so doing that, we will generate additional affordable housing, we will generate additional tax rateables, and the city of Elizabeth can then use its natural resources, such as land, air, and sea, to be the best urban area in the state of New Jersey.
Thank you, Mr. Bollwage. And finally, the Republican candidate, Dembeck.
21 communities in Union County. Elizabeth is Glory Manor, Pioneer Homes, Rabbit Lake Manor, Section 8 at Pierce Manor, Section 8, all over town. I think Elizabeth has done a great share in low affordable housing. One of the things I was much in favor of prior to my leaving the planning board was Midtown development, where there was a possibility of 400 units being put in right now the worst use of anything Midtown can be, parking lots. Look at your Midtown. The best property in town is all parking lots. I was for that. The main reason I was for that, it was being done by a man with a track record. I don't know how many people in this room are familiar with Society Hill in Newark. Society Hill was done by the same developer we had for Midtown, yet our council knocked it down. And I think that by getting development in of people that have proven track records and getting that property onto tax rateables and getting affordable housing for the citizens of Elizabeth, you can't go wrong. It's what we need, but we also, let's not forget what we're offering now in this city, more than our share than any other of the 20 communities that serve Union County. Let's not sell Elizabeth short.
Thank you, Jim. That's all the questions. Mayoral candidates. There'll be 2 minutes each. And first I call upon the sole Republican that we have here this evening, Mr. Jim Dembeck.
I love Elizabeth. Lived here all my life. Out near the Little League and Outdoor Youth League. Active in the community. My only sin in life was I was born a Republican. Many years ago, my father said to me, Jim, if you're going to live in Elizabeth, I brought you here. We live here. You have 2 choices. Join the Democratic Party or move to Union. Well, I'm proud of the Republicans. I think we've had some great presidents. I'm not going to leave my party just because political expedience. If I would have became a Democrat many years ago, I guarantee you it would have been a lot further than I am today. I'm running as a Republican because I think the people of Elizabeth are looking for change. I think the people of Elizabeth are looking for new ideas. One of my slogans is going to be one-term Dembeck. I'm 62. Where am I going? I want to do what I always had a love affair with the town. And I'm going to tell you one other thing that you might not know. Of all the candidates running, I'm the only one that can say this. From kindergarten to high school, I went to Elizabeth Public Schools. My 3 children, who are all successful in life now, all public schools. Not a candidate in Elizabeth can boast of that record. So we put our money where our mouth is. Now I'm hoping you might like me in November.
Thank you, Jim. I hope you've convinced all those Republicans who are here tonight. Now for the Democratic candidates. First, I'll call upon Councilman Chris Bollwage.
This election has clearly boiled down to 2 choices, Tom Dunn and Chris Bollwage. If you choose the new direction for the city of Elizabeth, if you choose new leadership and new answers, then you will select Elander Juror, Patricia Perkins, Ed Jackas, and Chris Bollwage to direct the city of Elizabeth in 1993. The most important issue that faces us is crime and drugs. We have submitted a proposal to deal with crime and drugs. We have submitted a proposal which will equip our walking patrol with beepers, where the policeman that is walking will receive the exact address in his beeper that he has to respond to cut down on response time. We will equip our radio cards with laptop computers, therefore they can issue the report immediately in the police car and free up time and spent at police headquarters and the ability to waste downtime back at the headquarters in writing responses that will free up the policeman on the street. And the police program has been so effective, and our message in crime, that the local policemen last night at their meeting voted to endorse myself for the mayor of the city of Elizabeth. I consider that endorsement extremely important in the race for the chief executive of the city, because it shows that the respect that I have for law enforcement officials, it shows the respect that I have for the direction of the city of Elizabeth, and it shows the respect that I have for the people who have the toughest job in the city of Elizabeth, and that is defending our city against the illegal crime and the drugs that permeate our town. As chief executive of the city, I will work closely with the police department in developing safe neighborhoods. We will go into the neighborhoods with teachers and social workers and construction officials, and we will seek a new direction, and we will chart a new course for the city of Elizabeth. Change is needed, as all of the candidates have suggested, and the change has to be Orlando Adjura, Patricia Perkins, Ed Jackas, and myself. Thank you.